Welcome to Techno Sapiens.
Welcome, everyone, to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this. Think about the sheer mind-boggling power of electricity for a second. I mean, it is an absolutely massive force, right? It powers entire cities, lights up our homes, charges the phones we stare at all day, and runs these huge industrial machines. But here is the crazy paradox that brings us together today. That exact same force, the one safely humming in your wall right now, can also take a human life. It is this incredibly fascinating mystery of physics and human biology. So, we have to ask the central question. Why can electricity kill you, but not always? Now, the answer to this is not simply, well, because electricity is dangerous. That's what we're all taught as kids. But it's actually a far more complex, highly specific set of conditions. As we're going to see, it really depends on this intricate dance of current, voltage, resistance, the exact path it takes, and literally how long it flows. Section 1. Your body as a circuit conducting electricity. To really understand electrical danger, we've got to totally rethink what we're made of. Because our bodies are packed full of water and dissolved salts, we are, unfortunately, incredibly good at conducting electricity. For electricity to flow, there basically needs to be a voltage difference between 2 points. Imagine this for a second. Your hand touches a live wire, and your feet are planted on the ground. You haven't just touched a circuit. You have literally become the circuit. The charge moves from the line, right through you, and straight into the earth. And the second that happens, dangerous electric current flows. Section 2. Voltage and current, the physics of harm. So think of voltage as electrical pressure. It is the raw force that pushes the electric charge. Current, on the other hand, is the actual movement of that charge. Voltage is the push, but current is the movement. And this is an absolutely crucial distinction, because while the voltage might be what kicks the whole event off, it is the current, that physical movement of charge ripping through your tissues, that actually does the real damage. To really grasp this, we turn to a fundamental engineering equation, Ohm's law. It simply states that current equals voltage divided by resistance, I equals V over R. In this equation, your body is the R, the resistance. You have natural electrical resistance. But what makes electricity so wildly unpredictable is that your body's resistance is not just some fixed number. It can change dramatically based on outside factors. Take the extreme danger of water, for instance. With completely dry skin, your resistance is pretty high, which limits the current. But if your skin is wet, that resistance absolutely plummets. Water acts as a highly conductive bridge, allowing a massive amount of current to flow. And as Ohm's law just told us, more current equals a whole lot more danger. And here's the scary part. You don't need a massive lightning-level strike to be in mortal danger. A relatively tiny electric current passing through the body can severely mess with your nerves and muscles. As the current ticks up, the symptoms escalate incredibly fast. It starts with a slight tingling, then a really sharp pain. Next comes involuntary muscle contraction, making it literally impossible to let go of the wire. After that, breathing problems kick in. Finally, it leads to massive, dangerous disturbances of the heart's rhythm. Your heart naturally operates using its own internal electrical signals, right? So if an external current interferes, the heart just stops pumping effectively. Section 3. Path and time. Where and how long. Let's say electricity enters one finger and leaves through another finger on the exact same hand. The current is traveling through a relatively small, highly localized part of your body. It hurts, sure, but it's contained. But contrast that with a shock that travels from your left hand all the way to your right hand. That path crosses directly through your chest. It passes right near the heart. The more critical organs that lie directly in the current's path, the vastly greater the potential danger. It's not just about how much electricity there is, it's exactly where that electricity travels. And then we have the critical element of time. Brushing against a live conductor for a fraction of a second is vastly different from being completely unable to let go for several seconds. Remember those muscle contractions we just talked about? They can actually trap a person, forcing their hands to grip the live wire in a vice-like hold. The longer that current flows, the more opportunity it has to cause severe muscle damage, really deep burns, escalating breathing problems, and those fatal heart rhythm disturbances. Time literally amplifies the damage exponentially. Section 4. The bird on the wire, a physics paradox. We see this every single day on our commutes, right? Those overhead lines are carrying massive, massive amounts of voltage, enough to power entire neighborhoods, and yet a tiny bird just lands right on it, hangs out for a bit, and flies away completely unharmed. Are they magically immune to the laws of physics? No way. The answer is entirely about voltage difference. When a bird sits on a single power line, both of its little feet are sitting at nearly the exact same electrical potential. There's absolutely no voltage difference across its body. And without a voltage difference, there's no electrical pressure to push the charge. Very, very little current flows. But let's say that bird were to stretch its wing and touch a second wire at a totally different voltage, or maybe touch a grounded object at the same time. Suddenly, bam! There's a massive voltage difference, the circuit completes, dangerous current rushes through, and the bird is electrocuted. They aren't immune. They just aren't completing a dangerous circuit.
Section 5, the final equation, a synthesis of danger.
You know, you may have seen those flashy science museum demonstrations where a person safely touches a Van de Graaff generator. Their hair stands straight up on end, they're experiencing literally hundreds of thousands of volts, and they are perfectly fine. Why? Because while the voltage is astronomically high, the actual current being delivered into them is extremely tiny. It perfectly proves our golden rule. Voltage alone does not tell the entire story.
The true danger is really a checklist of factors all working in tandem. Let's count them down. Voltage, how much pressure is pushing. Current, how much is actually flowing. Resistance, is your skin wet, lowering your defenses. Path, is it crossing your heart? Time, how long are you exposed? And finally, source capability. Can the source actually deliver enough current to sustain the shock? Every single one of these factors matters. If the conditions align to allow harmful current to flow, that is when electricity becomes deadly.
Electricity perfectly and rigidly follows the laws of physics. Understanding those laws doesn't mean we should be terrified of it, but it absolutely means we must respect its power. Never, ever test electrical danger with your body. Always treat unknown or exposed equipment as completely hazardous. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you see an exposed wire or you go to flip a switch near a wet kitchen counter, ask yourself, are you safely isolated from the grid, or are you just a fraction of an inch away from becoming the path of least resistance? Stay safe out there, keep learning, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.